Punished for creating mess, the morning sunlight poured lazily into the small family home, its golden beams dancing across the cluttered living room. Piles of books lay scattered across the sofa cushions, an empty snack wrapper peeked out from beneath the coffee table, and half-folded laundry was draped carelessly across the chair backs. At the heart of it sat Emma, a 20-year-old girl with shoulder-length brown hair, dressed in a gray sleeveless shirt and blue jeans, lounging comfortably on the sofa with her phone in hand. She scrolled absent-mindedly, giggling now and then at the glowing screen. Her sneakers were tossed on opposite ends of the room, one propped against the leg of the couch, the other abandoned near the door. A half-finished cup of tea sat on the side table, long gone cold. Emma glanced at the mess briefly and shrugged. "I'll clean it later," she murmured. It was the same excuse she had told herself every day. Later never came. The breaking point: her mother, Margaret, a tall woman in her 40s with dark hair tied neatly back and wearing a flowing deep red dress, stepped inside the house after finishing her errands. She expected to return to a quiet, tidy home. Instead, her eyes fell upon the disaster. The sight made her stop in her tracks. Shoes littered the floor, dishes were unwashed, and laundry she had asked Emma to fold yesterday was untouched, hanging limply from the chairs. Margaret's lips pressed into a thin line. She set her bag down slowly, her gaze scanning the chaos, and then landed on Emma slouched on the sofa, still in her gray sleeveless shirt and jeans, tapping away on her phone as if nothing was wrong. Emma. Her daughter looked up lazily. "Oh, hey, Mom. You're back early." Margaret folded her arms, her red dress brushing softly against her ankles as she stepped closer. "I asked you yesterday to fold the laundry. I reminded you this morning to tidy the living room. And what do I see?" Emma shifted, giving a small nervous laugh. "Was going to, I swear. I just got distracted." "It's not that bad, is it?" She gestured vaguely at the mess. Margaret's brows rose sharply. "Not that bad? This room looks like a storm swept through it. Dishes left out, clothes everywhere, shoes scattered. This is not how a home is kept. I've warned you more times than I can count." Emma tucked her phone away and leaned back. "Come on, Mother. It's just a bit of mess. I'll do it later." But her mother's expression only hardened. Confrontation, lesson must be learned. Margaret took a deliberate step forward, her red dress swaying. "No, Emma. Later never comes. I am done with excuses. You are 20 years old, not a child, yet you behave as though the responsibility of this home is meaningless to you." Emma squirmed slightly under her mother's piercing stare. "I didn't mean," her mother cut her off. "Enough. I've tried reminding you, scolding you, even pleading with you. Clearly words are not enough. You need to learn that actions, your careless actions, have consequences." Emma blinked, her voice uncertain. "Consequences?" "Yes," Margaret said firmly. "And you will face them today." The punishment, Tickle discipline. Before Emma could react, Margaret moved swiftly. She reached down, took her daughter's wrist, and pulled her upright from the sofa. Emma stumbled to her feet, startled. "Mother! What are you doing? You are going to learn, once and for all, that leaving this house in chaos will not be tolerated." Emma's eyes widened as her mother guided her back down to the sofa, this time not in comfort but with strict purpose. Margaret's grip was not harsh, but firm enough that Emma understood there was no escape. "Since words cannot reach you, laughter will," Margaret said evenly. Emma frowned in confusion. "Laughter?" But before she could ask further, her mother's fingers darted straight under her arms. Emma shrieked. "Mum. No." Her laughter exploded uncontrollably. As Margaret's hands worked skillfully against her underarms, mercilessly tickling the soft spots exposed by her gray sleeveless shirt. "Please, stop." "Ha ha ha, I can't, Mom." Emma wriggled and twisted, kicking her legs helplessly against the sofa cushions, but her mother did not relent. Margaret's expression was calm yet determined, her red dress flowing as she leaned over her daughter, fingers pressing into every sensitive spot beneath her arms. "You will learn to keep this house clean," Margaret said firmly over the sound of her daughter's wild laughter. "Yes. Ha ha ha, I promise I'll clean. Please, stop." Emma gasped, tears forming at the corners of her eyes as she squirmed desperately, but her mother continued for several more moments, ensuring the lesson sank in. Emma's laughter echoed through the living room like bells, sharp and frantic. She could barely catch her breath between bursts of giggles. Finally, Margaret pulled her hands back, letting Emma collapse onto the cushions, flushed red, panting, and still giggling softly even as she tried to stop. Aftermath. Lesson sinks in. Emma lay sprawled on the sofa, her hair messy, her cheeks warm, and her chest rising and falling quickly. "That was evil," she muttered between shaky laughs, pressing her arms down tightly against her sides as though to protect herself. Margaret straightened, smoothing the folds of her red dress. "It was necessary. I told you many times, and you ignored me. Now, you will remember." Emma groaned, hiding her face in her pillow. "I'll never forget it, that's for sure." Her mother sat beside her on the edge of the sofa, her tone softening but still firm. "Emma, discipline is not meant to hurt you, it is meant to guide you. This home is ours to keep, and when you neglect it, you disrespect me, yourself, and the house we live in." Emma peeked out from the pillow, still flushed. "I get it. I really do. I'll keep it clean from now on. Just please don't ever do that again." Margaret allowed herself a small smile. "That depends on you. Keep your word, and there will be no need for it." Emma sat up slowly, brushing her hair from her face. "All right. I'll clean it all now. No more later." Her mother nodded in approval. "Good. Then start with these shoes and dishes. Let me see you take responsibility." Emma groaned again, but this time without complaint. She slipped off the sofa, still wearing her gray sleeveless shirt and jeans, and began picking up the shoes scattered across the floor. The sting of ticklish laughter still lingered in her chest, reminding her that her mother's warnings were not empty. As she carried the dirty dishes into the kitchen, she muttered under her breath, half to herself, half to the memory of her mother's relentless fingers, "Never again."